first say what the Chancellor might do tomorrow. I'm joined by Miatta Fahnbulleh. She's the Chief Executive of the New Economics Foundation, a former advisor to Labour, and Nick King, Director at the Centre for Policy Studies, a former special advisor to Conservative ministers. Miatta, if I could start with you first, what would you like to see from Rishi Sunak tomorrow?
Well, look, we are staring down the barrel of mass unemployment. So I think the priority for the Chancellor has got to be protecting and creating jobs. And so there are three things I'd like to see. First, a commitment to not have the blanket unwinding of the furlough scheme, to stagger it so that there's continued protections for sectors that, with all the will in the world, because of social distancing, won't get back on their feet. I think the second is that he's got to invest to create jobs. So I think the 3 billion green fiscal stimulus is a start. I mean, the work that we've done suggests that we need something more like 28 billion to be pumped in the next year in order to create about 400,000 jobs in the next 18 months. But also investing in things like social care and health. You know, we've got 100,000 job shortages in health. We've got 122,000 job shortages in social care. The government could invest to create jobs and then put in place a proper training and placement scheme so that we're getting people into the jobs that are being created. And then I think the final part is, in the end, there are going to be rising numbers of unemployed. So we've got to beef up our social security system. And we think we need a minimum income guarantee, £220 a week, so that no one falls through the gaps, no one falls beneath an income floor and fall into hardship.
Miatta, what about tax moves or levy moves as well? There's talk of a VAT cut for some sectors and a stamp duty cut, although that seems to be being criticised by some quarters in the papers this morning for the wrong timing of a stamp duty cut.
Yeah, so I mean, look, a VAT cut, so if you cut it by 3%, it's about 20 billion. It's quite an expensive intervention and it's really blunt, and it's not targeting the sectors that really need the help. So we know parts of retail need help. We know hospitality, and a VAT is it's everyone. And it also tends to benefit the households that have more income and, quite frankly, have been saving through lockdown. So the issue for them is not the cost of things. And so it doesn't feel like quite the right move. And the same with stamp duty. The reason why there is a problem in the housing market is not because there's demand. It's because the construction sector has had to stop in parts because of social distancing. So the thing that we always have to come back to is the problem is because we have had to strip out demand in the economy because of social distancing. And relying just on the private sector, because I think, what businesses are saying is they're going to need a load of help in the short term, because even if they bounce back, they're having to operate below capacity because of social distancing, which is why the government has to step in and has to help and has to take some of the load of trying to kickstart the economy.